Hello, guys. How are we doing tonight? Sorry, I had to cut this song short, but I put some kind of alternative version and it was horrible. Horrible. I really did not appreciate it at all. So, I had to mess around with that a little bit more. But how we doing? Hopefully, it was a good day for most of you. I do know from trading in chat this morning that there were a lot of people that had a little bit of a tougher day. So this is why we're here. This is why we review, so that on days where you had a little bit of a harder time, we can come back and understand why and how to be better prepared for the next day. I was trying to long. Fair enough. Fair enough. For myself, definitely a bearish day. That was the expectation. And we'll go about it. Well, we'll go through it step by step. This SMT confused me. SMT everywhere, brother. I mean, at that point, I do understand, but definitely was very, very confused throughout the day in terms of SMP, right? If you guys saw right before the news this morning, right at market open, I did send a message in the futures chat. What did I say? Let's go back and see. But I talked about how markets were uncorrelated right now. There we go. Very uncorrelated assets at the moment. Traders, be careful. I just wanted to make sure I did actually send it and did not just think about sending it. But when price opened this morning, near the open, we had very uncorrelated markets. Of course, you can see a lot of SMT at these highs from ES, from NASDAQ and ES, right? Here, I'll bring the hover tool and it's going to be a lot easier for us to see that. But I'm always focusing on one thing, and that's daily structure. The most important part about today, that is the reason why I did not frame today as a potential trending day upwards, is because we did not trade below the open. We did what, like 10 handles? I always talk about it, how I want to see on a 15-minute chart, I want to see price accumulate and then manipulate for trending days, right? I need to see price trade below that opening price after the open. It did not at all. So in cases like these, I don't expect that. I expect a full reversal day. And moreover, hitting previous day high, forming SMT at those highs, gives you a beautiful framework to go short. If we bring it here, we also had a London framework here. Once again, 2 to 5 a.m. range, the high was taken and the low remained open, which means at 9:30, you expect that low to be targeted. Let's actually bring that back here as well. And let's just bring actually Asia as well, just so we can see our Asian session levels. Let's bring it here as well. Sorry, I might be a little slow tonight, guys. Definitely had a big fucking day, to be honest. But as we can see, everything aligned beautifully for short. There's also higher time frame SMT showcased at previous day's high here. So you have one statistical framework, two statistical frameworks, three statistical frameworks, and our main confluence we always look for that tells you to go short. If you're having issues, here, you know what? Let's do it simple. This is what I see in the morning when I open my chart. This is what I see. I already see the previous day high SMT. I see the London framework forming. I see that we seem to be forming some SMT at these highs, right? I think there actually was SMT at these highs at some point. Yeah, right here between these two, higher and lower. We can see on NASDAQ, this is higher. On ES, this is lower. So I see SMT. I see clear SMT as well, with NASDAQ having rated previous day's high while ES has not. But it has retraced in a premium of that range, which is already good. London framework, Asia, low being a big objective. We have not traded below the daily open, which means daily open is also a big objective. And I see relative equal lows at previous day's low. These are what I'm looking for. What could tell you that you're bullish. Oh, well, look here, we took out liquidity and are reacting. Okay, that can be very short term. That doesn't give you any long-term information. Where are your higher time frame levels? Where are your intraday frameworks? They are all telling you to go short, and all of these levels are below price. For me, there was no confusion at all. There was no reason at all to go long. So, sometimes I do say that bias can be discretionary, but on a day like today, you should have been looking for shorts. That is my opinion, at least on the matter. And I wanted to just bring you guys through replay mode just to give you guys a little bit of a deeper understanding about what goes through my brain at that point, instead of just showing you the result in this case, right? We also had 10 a.m. news. In most regard, you guys know I prefer to wait for the specific news events to come. Let's bring this back. But not today, because we had a Judah swing with SMT. Of course, a lot of SMT present everywhere, but what I'm mainly looking at is how at 9:30 we started expanding higher. We had a nice Judah swing. Of course, I was bearish, sorry. So at that point, this move higher was a manipulation for me, and I was just waiting to go short. In this case, we did not get a short unicorn entry on NASDAQ, and that confused a lot of people when I talked about it this morning, and I said, hey, I entered at 9:45, on the shorts, and I even myself entered a little bit earlier as well. And they were all wondering, well, okay, why are you doing that? Because I'm taking the entry on ES, but I know that ES will offer me less risk to reward for my specific trade. So I'm still trading it on NASDAQ. And in this case, taking the entry at 9:45 on ES for that beautiful short. Of course, once again, SMT is present. You have everything that aligns. You have clear statistical objectives, with the final target being at previous day low. I mean, you can ask Wallachines. Julian was actually there with me this morning, and I told him, I was like, oh, we could go all the way to previous day's low. That's my final take profit. Today was really just a very nice execution on my end, to be honest. But this short was definitely the trade to look for. Of course, is this the easiest trade to look at? I want to be pessimistic, so I'm just going to use the candles open. But the truth is, your entry would have been more here if you clicked when ES reached these levels. So let's be pessimistic, say a worse entry. And at that point, you're still going to use 3 PD arrays on NASDAQ for your stop loss, right? So you have an inversion fair value gap, you have a fair value gap here, and you have an inversion fair value gap here. Brings your stop right here with 24 handles. That's good. Mine was 20.25. So I was actually at the high of that candle. That's pretty great. And then you don't need to think anymore. All of a sudden, you have clear objectives. You have London low. Would I consider taking partials before London low? No. That's the truth. I have a clear statistical target. It is in close proximity, right? This is a 48 handle framework. I'm not going to consider taking profits before then, even if my risk to reward allows for it. But my partials were definitely London low, Asia low, then the daily open, and finally I had a final trade. I think I actually posted a lot of pictures about that because I got juked here. But my final position was at previous day's low. I did get juked here, but I held on and finally got hit at this level. Some audio trouble? Sorry, what do you mean? Is it still occurring or was it just temporary? How? Same thing like last time. I wish I could hear it. That's what pisses me off. Here, let's try something. Let's try something. I really do wish I could hear it. Did this fix anything, or? Why is Discord having these issues? Let me mess around with some stuff. Still there. What is the same issue as last time, Magic? I love Discord. Maybe this fixed it? Well, as you said, just wait for YouTube. It is unfortunate. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna listen in and try and see if I can fix that. It is pretty unfortunate to see that. But anyways, that was the one and only trade for the day. So no, I don't consider any continuations. There was there were no reversal frameworks that we could have traded at any point in the PM session. Well, I mean, you do have lunch low here, so you would have a long on ES, and you have SMT, so you could consider that and trading that long on NASDAQ. But as we can see, this was just an unsuccessful framework. So that would be still a valid trade. Definitely, I was bearish. I would not have looked for a long, even if it was a retracement. It's like I'm in a sci-fi movie and talking to aliens. Damn. Okay. That is special. Extremely special. I don't know why Discord does this. I'm very sorry, but as you saw from the last one, right? The last call we did, where that happened, right? On YouTube, everything was fine. I reviewed the YouTube video. Yeah, no. That's the thing, right? So I'm not going to consider this a breaker until we break through this low, right? Even if ES reached through that low one candle before. So I'm not going to consider it a breaker, but I'm going to take the entry based on ES. It's really just a mentality thing. The result is the same. That was definitely the trade for the day, and it was great. Very high return. Very happy to start it off like that. Any final questions? I do understand that we are having some Discord technical difficulties right now, so probably not too many questions, but I'm happy to answer them if any are present. I can't hear, but when you get a chance, can you explain how the breaker indicator works? Some instances I see it print what looks like a bullish. You would have to send me some pictures, but what you are describing does not happen within the indicator. This is an indicator I use in depth every day. If you're curious about how it works, I did just link to you the price action review where we went very in depth about the whole indicator, how it works, exactly what each setting is. So I would recommend you go watch that. For tonight, we're going to call it there. You guys have a great night. Good luck trading tomorrow. We'll have another price action review tomorrow night. You guys have a great night. Bye.